So as you guys
The
are
odds that it
joining, oh, sorry, what was that, Medic?
I said, what are the odds that it works?
That what works? Oh, the recording? I've got it.
Mhm.
I've got it solid, like figured out, man. The last four,
So it's a
Oh.
50-50 then.
the last four have
Yes.
worked in a row.
Man's got it dialed in.
What the? Oh, nice, Kev.
It actually terrified me.
I'm kind of retarded.
That's the best one.
So,
AJ.
our goal for tonight is I want to do this boss in 2 parts. So I want to get basically halfway through, which is just a little bit into P2. We should be able to do that fairly quickly tonight since we've seen most of P1, but I do still want to discuss it and some of the things that are going on. Maza, if you're here watching this, it actually can't, and Yerpul as well, it does split the tanks, and it actually does split the healers. So there's always 2 healers on one color and 2 healers on another, and 1 tank on either side. So I did get confirmation of that. I know that was a question earlier. So yeah, so this fight, really fast paced, but once you kind of understand the flow of it, it slows down quite a bit. So I think any attention that we can pay to this fight outside of raid is going to pay off huge, right? Because it's all scripted. You just want to make sure that you kind of understand what's happening on both sides, not just red side or not just blue side, but what red and blue teams are doing, because you could be that team at any given moment, right? So think about this from both angles as best as you can while you're going through. Would be my advice there. Now, this is just kind of a random VOD. I don't know, it's some like European guild, but it seemed pretty straightforward. So I was just going to pull some of the discussion topics just from this VOD and watch it through. I've also got the plan here, so we'll go over it in the plan and the VOD at the same time, and reference both whenever it's helpful. So let's just start it off here with this bossy. Polarity gets assigned. Now, just so we go over with specifics on polarity, if you'll notice there, when it goes out, it's not assigned right away, right? Which means nobody actually, it drops colors and nobody has anything assigned here. It's just beaming into you and it's going to assign in 3 seconds. So during this time, you can actually run through any and all players. So basically just pick your shortest distance to get to the other side of the boss that you can get here. You don't need to run around and avoid people. I know that was a question on Prog Night, so I just want to make sure that's clear. So yep, red on the right, blue on the left. Now they are doing a little optimization here. They're baiting drills back here as ranged. I don't think you need to do that. You can just put them here, but basically anywhere out here is good, or back here is good. And I think this was helpful as well for healers to know, because while we're popping these mines, we could get drills. So anywhere back here is fine for dropping those drills, because we're going to end up going across the room, right, and getting over here eventually. So drills that are dropped in this area won't ever be a problem at all. So either way it works just fine here. These drills are a lot less strict than some of the other ones coming up. So all this is just lust, burning boss, drills, and mines. So if we can get the drills going, he actually gets one here, starts placing them, and that's totally fine. They're out of the way. And they move down here for beams. They're just chilling halfway between where they want to be and where they are. Now careful here. I don't know if you saw that range. I'm going to go back just a little bit. But if you're on red side or blue side and you're going to move, there is a little trap that spawns on this conveyor belt that's going in the opposite direction of the long ones, this little conveyor belt. So you want to be aware of that. It's okay to use this conveyor belt, but that trap will probably kill you. It knocks you in the air and does a big dot, and and it's no bueno. So you want to just watch for that. There's usually not one right after the other. They're spaced out pretty well. So if you see one, then you're clear to go. It's pretty safe. But you want to wait until you get eyes on one. It's kind of like, you know, coming up to like a green light that's been stale for a while. You want to hover the brake. So they are baiting drills back here, which is really good. After they move down, you know, melee, you're kind of just doing your thing. You're on the bus, but range has a little bit more to think about here. There are some melee pops that are going on at the same time, but after we move down, first drills, it's really nice if red team puts these out of the way, which this is on the conveyor belt. The conveyor belt's not pictured in the raid plan, but that's what it means. Just put it on the conveyor belt and then move up. He realized that he doesn't have drills. Does anybody know why he has this weak aura that says no drills? How that came to pass?
Yeah, in the first phase.
Right.
Run.
Right. So he's locked out. So you can only get drills once every 90 seconds, which is basically once per phase. So if you've already gotten it, you don't need to bait again in the phase. And so he realizes this. He actually started out by baiting and didn't really lose anything, right? Because he's a BM hunter. And then he realized, oh, you know, no drills. And so he's just going to move in. Whereas his team is actually standing back here and baiting back here. Pops are happening. And then we get our first rockets and beams. This is a good one where you know, hunter or mage or paladin with bubble. Hopefully I'll have one on red side, because they only come from this side. The rockets only shoot from the red side here. They won't shoot from behind blue. So it's mostly red team's responsibility to soak those as best as you can. So hopefully I'll have a paladin or a hunter or a mage on red team. Pretty much we guaranteed will. After that soak, we do this switch. This is where we were pretty much wiping, I would say. We weren't ready for that polarity switch last week, and so we just want to catch that. So let me get a little bit of a run up to that as the rockets come out. The rockets are actually still out as you swap colors. So see, there's rockets coming in, and he swaps. So you actually have to move during this.
Is this the point where the far ones come up? Yeah. Okay.
Yep. So this is where. Yep. Good
This is
call.
where me and Caligon are gonna go.
Probably going to be assigned to you guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is here. Yeah. So this is the point that we're at here. So these drills go here and here. So red team is actually taking the middle conveyor belt for these drills. It is recommended somewhat, although it's not as important on this set, to do these as an L shape. So you can actually do 1, 2, and then put these in range, because there are beams coming, and this third drill can kind of put you out in beam range. So that's kind of okay if you put 2 on the belt and 1 forward. This is way more important. It's actually like 100% needed on phase 2, and we'll go over that in a bit. But just so that you know, that's a variation that you might see some guilds doing if you're looking at a VOD of this first. This is Ohio coming up, by the way. This is like everything that Dirt was saying. So we've got pops, we got far pops happening across the map. And then we got drills. He knows that he's not getting it, so everybody else is baiting out. Okay, so we've got magnets, drills, and beams here. Or sorry, magnets, rockets, and beams here. So this one is even more important, that red team has a invulnerability blocker person, like a hero. The reason being is that when a rocket hits you, it launches you into the air. It's not the damage really from it that's the problem. It's that you lose control of your character because you're in the air without an immunity. And then it will, because you're getting sucked towards the middle with this magnet, you'll get sucked, the red team will get sucked into this electricity, and it will kill you that way. So this one is much more critical and much more dangerous than the other blocking set, the one that happens with the magnets. So just something to be aware of for everybody in the team there. Hopefully we have somebody with a good immunity and good blocking sense there. But as we are, you know, in the middle of getting sucked and dodging, if you are aware, red team, of where those rockets are coming in from, and you can dodge without running into the blue team, that's also going to be clutch. So don't just put it on the one immune soaker and like, I'm good, I don't even need to think about it anymore. It's you can actually like put your head in it and probably save yourself some time on the floor if you watch for that, because these are most assuredly death if you get rocketed here.
You know if Death's Advance works, cool?
I don't. That might be a good one to, I'll look into that, but yeah,
I'll test it.
that might be a science thing, yeah, on one of the wipes. Okay, so they are finishing that up. And just going to move the boss down to circle to prepare for the intermission. Now, right before intermission, there is some raid damage, and then we swap colors. So you can't quite prepare what you're going to be doing right away, but yeah, see, there's a swap, and then he's going to knock you back here right at the end of this cast. So you have, like, after the swap, you have 4 seconds to orient yourself towards either the gate if you're the red team, or blue team needs to swing around and knock themselves, and you want to knock yourself over in this direction. Now, this is different compared to like, depending on what your class is and what you're capable of, right? So ultimately, what we want to have happen with this knock, okay, yeah, this was the soaking that was happening. Okay, so ultimately what we want to have happen with this knock is red takes the gate, and I'll talk about the details of that in a moment, but blue, you want to position yourself so that you get knocked towards where you want to be going. So we'll end up like this. So red team takes the gate and they're over here, right? Red ranged and red melee. Now blue range can just get knocked and go right here and stay here and hit the boss, right? But blue melee, you will want to have a plan for getting here. So like a lot of monks will like preset their transcend, warriors can leap, like that sort of thing to get over there. You have about a half second after the knock before this electricity activates. So I don't know, Dirt, what Shadow Step does right here. That might be something for science as well. That might be dangerous though, you might have to cloak it. But just a heads up that this is it's a little wonky, especially for blue melee. Really straightforward for red though. They just get gate over here and they stay over here. But blue, you want to go far because red is staying close, blue goes far, and then that looks like this. So that's happening there. And then Yerpal, if you're watching this, I believe this will be you that does this. The knockback. So the knockback after, I need to look into it, but after the beta launch cast finishes, it doesn't just knock you back once. It actually knocks you back, I think over like a half second. It knocks you back like every like 0.1 seconds. So like knock, like it will continue to knock you. And so that's why it's dangerous to take the gate early. You can't take this gate early. You have to wait until after this cast finishes. So ideally you get knocked kind of towards the gate and you take the gate mid-flight, so that, because you can, if you take the gate, I keep on going to that tab, you can, if you take the gate too early, just continue flying this direction because the boss just continues to knock you. So the gate timing is pretty critical there. And blue team has to do this later, so basically everybody needs to know that. You could be either red or blue team at any moment, right? So everybody needs to know how to use the gate and also have a plan. If I'm blue, and especially blue melee, how am I going to get over here without dying to the electricity? Now the damage check on this isn't too high, so if you're blue and you just want to play it safe and just like kind of hit the boss with some ranged abilities from over here, this phase isn't that bad. But you know, to my parse monkeys out there, you're going to want to be here. And you know, that's not bad for a first kill as well. So that's what happens. We can watch that happen in real time here. So cast finishes, he takes the gate instantly right after it, but you'll notice he did get knocked back there for just like a second before he took it. So you wait until the cast completes. Now this phase is free. This phase is so free, it's crazy. The healing requirement, there's no damage requirement here. So you get like a chance to kind of breathe during the intermission phase. You just watch the circles on the ground. There's some traps that come down, but you just dodge left and right and back and forward. and it's free as hell. And so they're just set up right here. This is a red range, right? So red range is back here, but he's looking at his feet. But yeah, blue range is over here, blue melee is over there during this whole time.
That's cool, no drama.
Cool. So boss goes in between, after this, the boss goes between red and skull, so it just gets dragged off, right, of the thing. So this is a little tough if you're like the red tank currently has aggro. It's tough to get the boss here without running into people, so just be a little bit patient and aware there. Blue tank definitely, hopefully, has the boss and can get it off there. This may be just a little bit of problem solving.
Is it something they can just like swap off, like, because the debuff is only worried about the tank mechanic, right?
Maybe
Like, I could always just taunt it to position and then you can retaunt back.
that might be tech. Yeah, I haven't seen any groups doing that or talking about it, but I don't see why not. Like one stack and then the red tank can taunt it back
Like,
after.
to like position, because the blue guy can just be chilling where he needs to be.
Yeah, there actually is another moment later in P2 that might actually help as well.
Yeah.
But
So when we stack the rockets or whatever, or the boards.
yeah, we'll have to test that out and see how that works.
There's Cord, it's what Buckus is saying for that mechanic. It's you just taunt off for the runaway part,
Mhm.
Yeah.
the party rocket. Other than that, whichever tank has the correct color to position, that's the one that positions, and the other one just taunts off later.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I think it's probably such a non-issue they don't even talk about it. Just for like in videos instead of their kills and stuff.
Yeah,
And
Dratnos
like
mentioned
you don't
it.
have to taunt swap because it's
Mhm.
like
Yeah, Dratnos mentioned it, but maybe he sucks, so that's fine. Okay, so this is right after the intermission. It swaps polarity, so you might swap, you might not, right? It doesn't guarantee that you swap. It's just it's gonna reassign people, and you might. So notice that there actually are some far pops that happen pretty much right away. It looks like it's a Resto Druid and yeah, it looks like it's a. No, actually, sorry. The far pops are at the bottom side of this map. I'm reading this wrong. So yeah, it's a something and a something. Oh, this is an evoker. So yeah, you want to be aware of that the mines are coming out and that you are assigned. So you actually have to, since you're the first pop right here, you have to pre-position. You have to get out there pretty early for these far pops, which Caligon and Swabbles already know, because they've done one before on the phase 1. Cool, so they're baiting drills back here because they're going to actually end up running down the line and they want to keep this area clean. So basically anywhere back here at this point is totally fine. I'm just going to close that because I need to stop clicking on it. So yeah, because we're going to move this way at some point. So anywhere back here is totally fine, just not on where the mine is going to be popped. But yeah, this is really good clean positioning. Both conveyor belts are actually going this way at this point, so you just hop on the conveyor belt and you can just sit there and cast and it will drop the drills perfectly for you. The other thing, that's a good thing for tanks to know that are running the tank bomb at that point, is that the conveyor belts are both going this way, so you hop on that conveyor belt and use that 100% at that point. I think I forgot to mention too with your pull, this just being aware of how that knockback works. If you're out here, this is typically where like a paladin tank would bubble this, so you need to just be aware that it's going to knock you back. Just leap back to the platform at basically your last moment or towards the end. Milk that leap just a little bit. You might, if you leap right away, like right after the cast finishes and your first knockback, it might knock you one more time again if your leap isn't very far or you do it pretty quickly, so you could die right there. Okay, so they are setting up drills here, and then they're going to set up for the scary move, and we are almost done with half the fight already. So they're dropping drills back here. It's chill, and then they're going to do a beam. And after this beam happens is what will trigger the move. Now blue team has it on easy street because it switches the direction of the of the conveyor belts. So blue team actually can use the conveyor belt to walk down. However, red team kind of needs to take the hellish road that has a trap on this one. So see, that trap is already coming. There's people that are rushing, and mines are spawning on blue right here. So red team needs to be very careful coming across that they don't get hit right here, and they don't trigger this mine. Meanwhile, there are 2 people that will be picked for popping mines. They want to stay behind. So red team and blue team are moving, but these 2 players will want to stay behind because right as we're moving, there's going to be a pop right here and right here. So everybody's moving down, but there's a pop right here and right here that's coming up. So you might as well, if you're assigned to this, just stay back and get that pop.
Your little sister's Biss.
Your little sister is Biss, he said. Okay, so you're going to do those pops. They're setting up for a new positioning here. And this is where I'm curious what you guys think about this. Their moon marker and their star, I believe, yeah, are further in to mark this positioning because it's actually really tight for the big beams coming up here. Like you have to be like basically in this narrow corridor. And so they moved their moon in to mark that. So you don't actually have to look at the notches on the ground. I don't know if you guys saw in my in my Sprocket manga. Yeah. Raid plan, there's the thing that shows you like where you need to be. Basically there's like a notch on the ground that you can align yourself with, but they're just moving these 2 in just so that you have like an easy reference point, because this is for the mines, and the mines don't spawn right on the mark anyway. They have some variance around it, so people just kind of need to know it's in that area. So I don't mind that. I think that's kind of a good idea. What do you guys think about that?
Does the mines have like a color circle on them when they're spawning anyway?
Yeah.
If you got to, because like the one time it matters if you're like on the mark perfectly is if you're the first guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
For popping the mines, because you're like waiting for it to spawn, and then you just see the color anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Like it should be fine.
I think we try this for Prague. I think this positioning, yeah, probably.
Yeah. We're gonna have a harder time standing at the right place and not get blasto beamed than the bomb person going. Like you're not gonna go to the wrong quadrant because the thing's 4 yards closer.
Yep. Okay, so red team and blue team have 2 kind of difficult jobs here, right? Red team's got to go across and then make sure that they don't trigger this mine as they're going across, and we set up over here. Blue team, however, needs to take the conveyor belt and ride it all the way down. You actually want to, because drills are coming up, and you want to drop your drills over here, because what's coming up is we actually need to move from here to here. So if you drop drills here, like where you typically would want to in the fight, then it's in our way, right? So we want to drop drills over in this area right after we move. So blue range, just take that conveyor belt and ride it all the way down is what we're going to want to do for sure. So let's see that happening here. He's already had drills, so he stays in, but notice his team is over here baiting these blue drills over to the right. They took that conveyor belt all the way down. Now this isn't great, but it's not right in line with where they need to be, right? This is a little dangerous. Would have liked to see him bait that first drill a little bit further, but it works as long as they're tight with it. Okay, so you have to come in also right after the drills finish. You have to come in. You don't have much time, so you got to drop them and then come in. There's plenty of time to get in. It's like 2 or 3 seconds, but you got to come in like right away. And then we get beams plus rockets. This one's pretty chill. However, it's so close to where the rockets are going off. Instead of having like an immune soaker on this one, what we do is we just barrier and live. We just live with barrier. That's the plan there.
Are we holding, guys?
Little barrier.
Love it. So then there's a polarity swap, and then
Barrier
you
will
need
stay with the rockets. Like
yeah, through the
like
whole
it'll stay
time,
with the rockets?
the
Okay.
whole thing. Yeah, it'll yeah shield the red group, and it's basically red group that needs it, but yeah, you can cover everybody. Okay, so there's a polarity switch right after the beams and rockets. and then we need to move across, like directly across. So blue team needs to take the boss across. In a lot of cases, blue melee, you're maybe going to get a little screwed here. Like blue melee kind of needs to run across after beams and get out of the way. So you might need to go over here because there is a tank bomb going out at the same time. So blue tank might not be able to get it over there. We might be able to use the tech you were talking about, Buckus, but red tank might have to drag the boss over here and then position back over. So blue team needs to kind of get out of the way. These beams won't be here. That's later. But in this instance, positioning the boss across is a little bit difficult if the tank that stays here is assigned red. So you just want to be aware of that and be considerate, blue team, especially blue melee. It's going to feel very awkward to move and just sit here and wait for the tank to position and then get back in position and then you can go. You might have like 5 seconds of downtime. So just a heads up to those of you that are assigned blue melee, depending on what's going on in the fight. So they swap, he's on red though, and then they're gonna just drag the boss over. So you see this timer, he's got L shape here, and also the pops are happening. So the drills are gonna go out, and they're gonna go out in an L shape. You'll see this, so drill 1, drill 2, and then he's gonna put drill 3, there's always 3 drills, forward. And then the reason being is because if you put that last drill over here, you are not making it back here. Like 100%. You're just not going to make it. Now, this is one of the tougher moments to live in the fight. But yeah, you want to make sure that you, if you're doing the drills, you are making this L shape. 1, 2, and in. Over here. 1, 2, forward, in. So that you can come in like right away after that third drill drops, you are back in the group.
That seems really tight.
It is. And now we've got Ohio, except for the beams are huger. So we've got magnets and beams happening at the same time with rockets. Now typically most groups use a prot paladin for spell warding here. We're not going to have that. So it is super killable without that, but we will need an immunity or some hero to soak, and maybe that's what B-reses are for, because it's very easy to get hit here and die. Like if you get hit by the rocket here and you don't have immunity, you're going to get sucked into somewhere, you're going to lose control of your character, and it's going to be over for you. So that's really that. So let's go back through it here really quick. What happened? I think we've got a pretty good handle of what happens up until first intermission. First intermission happens. Remember, blue team is split, blue is mid, and blue melee go far side of the boss. Then we have these drills. We're dropping basically drills in the opposite direction of where we're going, right? We don't want to put them in an area of where we need to go. So that's where those drills are going. We're setting up to move. However, 2 people are going to stay back for bombs, right? Red team is in hell here. They're running across, dodging mines. They're dodging traps across here. Blue team has easy street. They just take it, and blue range will take it all the way down. Unless you had drills already, right? You can just hop off and hang out with the blue team. But if you haven't had drills yet, you're going to be baiting those over here and doing those suchly. And then we are positioned tight, and then we're in the barrier, and then we're going to move after beams. So blue team is going to go far and pull the boss over as best as we can. Maybe we have a blue, if we don't have a blue tank, then maybe we have a blue melee taunt it over, and we try and make that work. Then you got the L drills. If you can execute the L drills and we're good here, this fight is basically over at this point. I'm gonna stop there because I feel like it's just going to be too much information, but fight's basically over. Next week I'll go over anything that it seems like we need a touch up on, or anything that was confusing based on prog, and also finish up the fight is the plan. So I'm gonna end it there, but does anybody have any equestrians thus far, or anything kind of unclear about the plan and how that works?
I have a
It
question
seems
about
like a
like,
fast-paced, like run and gun kind of fight.
It's
Can we-
it's a
can
what,
we
Buckus?
Like a run and gun kind of fight, like very fast-paced,
Yeah.
non-stop
We
stuff.
do tier 11 or tier 8?
Yeah, and we can basically just learn it step by step, right? Like once we get to the next step and we fail it, then it's like, okay, that's how this one goes, you know, and then so we can go a little bit further, and then we just kind of like push it forward and forward each time. This is one where I think I really want to start like getting very quick, unless there's confusion, right? We talk about it pretty quick, but quick wipe, quick repull kind of thing. I think the more pulls we can get in to just go further, the better. Like 100%. Shouldn't be too much confusion.
It'll be pretty obvious when people fuck up, because it'll be like bomb was not done right. Somebody yeeted through the raid. Or somebody
Yeah,
dropped troll.
not much
like-
discussion should be needed.
It's
Yeah,
pretty obvious when somebody messes up on this fight. Like,
yeah. Or you stood in something, right? You're dead.
Yeah.
Sorry, Abelard. Go ahead.
wait, can we, when we need to take the Warlock gate, can we use 2 Warlock gates so red and blue have the option to
no,
take
that's
it, or?
that's too risky. Because like, what if you're sitting a little too close to the other one and you get yeeted into the other squad?
Mm.
And you need them to. You can't both take them at the same time, so you would need to be like spread
Yeah,
out.
technically.
Like the knockback happens. You might as well use the knockback. Like it's not bad.
Yeah, just only one team can be on the correct side. I was even thinking like if the team could, like red team could position back here, like behind blue, and if you didn't have a warlock, right, you could just both get knocked, and one team would go
They did it a couple
far.
times with the frog pulls if you watched it.
Oh,
when
really?
DSD died. Yeah,
Okay.
it's a little spicy, but it's like not the end of the world. And the lightning isn't like instant kill or anything like that. Like running through it, it's just like a chunk of damage.
Yeah, the next time blue team gates, and so finding a good time after the L drills to place the gate, it will be something that Void and Kalidai will have to help me figure out. I don't know when it would be best. Obviously, I think it would be a blue warlock that would do it, but there's some RNG there, right? So when should we get that gate placed? Not sure.
a lot of time there. Like a minute.
You do have a good amount of time, yeah. But that's where this one is placed, and then the other one is placed kind of there to barely get you to the conveyor gate. And so red
Dude,
team
it gives me
goes
like
far
Thanks
this
Smith
time.
vibes of like hold gate.
Oh yeah, true.
But I think the add-on counts it down for you, so chilling.
Yeah, and if you just watch the cast bar too, if you got a good cast bar for the boss, cool.
A lot of these like parts of this fight seem really claustrophobic.
Yeah. If you're
Yeah, I
not
love your boy.
in the right space, that can get really rough really quickly. Where was it? Right here. Here. Yeah, that's like you have this much space to stand in as red, and blue is like the same there. You have this much space right here. Anywhere else, you're dead. Then here. That's pretty cool though. All right. Well, thanks for coming to PTRU. I think that was useful. I hope it was.
Thanks for hosting.
As always, send me any questions that you might have or anything you might discover, or use next boss discussion. Even better, we can get everybody involved. I'm excited to dig into some of these harder bosses with y'all.
I'm not in the fight, but